It is quite often the case we find we have the task of tidying up or making amendments to existing wall layouts. The objective of this video is to look at 3 wall trim stroke extend tools which will make this task easier. One will be used to create a corner with 2 existing walls. A second will trim or extend a single wall element to another. And finally a third will enable multiple wall elements to be either trimmed or extended to another. We'll begin by opening up an existing project from the Recent Files page. Looking at this layout, our tasks are to create 2 corners here and here, then extend the single element to the external wall, followed by trimming a single element to the external wall. We'll then follow this by using a tool which will enable us to trim and extend multiple walls in the center here. The trim tools are found within the Modify tab up on the ribbon, so if we click on there, within the Modify panel, and all 3 trim tools which we are about to look at are here where my cursor is going backwards and forwards. So our first task is to create a corner. So we'll click on Trim Extend to Corner, and please note that when you're using these tools, Trim Extend to Corner, you always click on the piece that you want to keep. So in this case, if we click on this wall, followed by this wall, you'll see that the surplus was removed. And likewise, if we click on this wall and click on this wall here and not here, you can see by the little blue lines indicating what's going to happen, that when we click on there, we end up with a corner. Okay, we are now required to extend this single wall to here. We don't want any trimming to occur on this occasion. We simply want it to extend and not lose any of the external wall. This tool will perform that task. So we choose Trim Extend Single Element. The first thing we're required to do is specify the reference element, the element that it will trim or extend to. In this case, it's going to extend. So we click on that external wall, and when we click on this wall, it extends to there. So the lower half of this wall, the lower section of this wall, we require it to trim to the external wall. So once again, we select the external wall as the reference and select the piece we want to keep. And all it does is it trims a single element. We can see in the center we have extending and trimming to do. The tool that will enable us to do that simultaneously is the Trim Extend Multiple Elements tool. So if we click on that, the first thing we're required to do is specify the reference, which will be the vertical wall. So we click on that. And then we can either click these individually, but we have the opportunity here to use a crossing window. So if I click in an empty space, hold the pick button down and drag upwards, we have this dotted window. And when I release the pick button, it will automatically trim and extend simultaneously those multiple elements. To exit the command, we click on Modify, and that is our task complete.